Kenny Pickett leading the quarterback competition in Cleveland is a complete farce. They are screwing over Shedeur Sanders already. Politics is playing too much of a role in Cleveland. Kenny Pickett is a small hands quarterback who has been in the league for years and has proven that he is not an NFL starter. Anybody can look at Kenny Pickett and say he's not an NFL starter. So to put him as number one on the depth chart over Shedeur Sanders is politics and nothing other than politics. Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback on the roster. We need to be able to see him play full preseason games. And going into week one, Shedeur Sanders needs to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He doesn't need to split snaps. He doesn't need to split reps. He doesn't need to come in certain packages. Quarterback one, hand him the offense. Don't play with him. That's who Shedeur Sanders is. Shedeur Sanders is a top 7 quarterback in the NFL, day one, lacing up cleats. He needs to be starting for the Cleveland Browns over Kenny Pickett. Anthony Edwards is both a liar and a fraud. Anthony Edwards beat the Golden State Warriors with no Stephen Curry and walked around like he was the king of England. You can't trust a man like that. He beat the Golden State Warriors with no Stephen Curry. That means that they didn't have anybody else on the floor who could score. And he used that on his resume to convince us that he was one of the best players in the world. Anthony Edwards is nothing but another guy on the court. He is nothing but just another hooper. He is not a game changer. He is not an elite level basketball player. And he is sure as hell not going to be one of the greatest players of all time. He has a lot to learn about making his teammates better, making his team better, learning the game of basketball. One adjustment shouldn't throw off everything that he does, and he shouldn't be able to get shut down so easily. Anthony Edwards has a lock-key combination on him right now. If you put a certain defense on him, he cannot score. That is not an all-time great. That is just another hooper. Put Michael Porter Jr. in prison immediately. He's getting paid $179 million on his contract, and he scored 9 points in the playoffs. I could score 9 points for the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. He was a complete non-factor. Michael Porter Jr. coming out of high school was the number 1 overall recruit. He was supposed to be the next LeBron James, one of the greatest players of all time. He goes to college. He's an okay player. He gets hurt within college. He goes to the pros, and the whole time he's good. He won a championship with the Denver Nuggets, but we're still waiting for more with Michael Porter Jr. If you're the number 1 overall prospect in high school, you should be a dominant force when you get to the NBA. 9 points is not cutting it for Michael Porter Jr. The Denver Nuggets need to let him walk, and the Denver Nuggets need to completely get rid of their whole roster because currently what they have around Jokic is nothing. Next round of the playoffs, it's the 2 great guards. Tyrese Halliburton is going to play Shai Gilgeous-Alexander head-to-head. 2 great guards. The only difference, one foul baits and the other is the most efficient guard on the floor who apparently can go and get 34 points and get a triple-double with no turnovers. Tyrese Halliburton is the definition of a point guard who makes his teammates better. Everything that he does is about the flow of the offense, getting his teammates involved, getting guys shots when they need shots. Everything he does is a traditional point guard. Tyrese Halliburton's player comp is Steve Nash. Everything that he does is about the team, getting people involved, and then when it's time to score on his own, he can surely do that. But he is the most clutch player in the league statistically. And then you look across the floor and it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the guy who was held to under 15 points. The only game that he didn't get a bunch of foul flop calls. The only game that he didn't get a bunch of foul flop calls so that he could shoot free throws. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is 100% dependent on the fact that he needs to shoot at least 10 free throws a game in order to have a successful game. If the refs just let the guys play and legitimately just give it an objective calling, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be a non-factor. The way that he plays is a manufactured form of basketball where all he's doing is looking for a foul. And then once he gets you to foul him one time, he's going to get your team in the bonus, and then his team's going to shoot free throws for the rest of the half. He doesn't actually make any players on his team better, but he found a loophole in the system where he can get in the bonus with 10 minutes left every single quarter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is impactful in that reason, but on the basketball court, he can't hold a single candle to Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton, if he can stay out of foul trouble, is going to eat Shai Gilgeous-Alexander up and prove that not only is Tyrese Halliburton not most underrated, but that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander never ever should have been the MVP of the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder match up terribly against the Indiana Pacers. What the Thunder do well is that they're a long team and that they're what the Thunder do well is that they're a long team and they have a lot of guys. That's exactly what the Pacers do well too. Pacers have Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam. I would take those guys any day over Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Then from there, it's Tyrese Halliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Even if Shai was better, he's not that much better than Tyrese Halliburton. Pacers are built to win an NBA championship, and the Thunder are just going to be the team that everybody thought was good enough to win it. The Thunder struggled with the Denver Nuggets. They took them 7 games when they played an actual good team. The Oklahoma City Thunder didn't play anybody in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Everybody knew that the Timberwolves weren't good. They just hadn't played any competition because Steph Curry was hurt. So the Timberwolves last round proved absolutely nothing. And now they're going to go into the NBA championship head to head against the hottest team in the entire NBA. I would bet my entire life savings that the Indiana Pacers will beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in 5 games or less.